Hi, my name is Ebony Panado. Currently a fourth grade science teacher for Canarsie Ascends. And I just wanted to do a quick video about my reflection of my lesson. As you can see, I'm wearing different clothes because it's the next day and I really want to take some time to really deep dive and see my data. So the first question that's asked of me is, how did I plan for this lesson and what decisions did I make in order to plan for it? So anytime I look at any type of unit plan or any type of lesson, first things I need to do is look at the stamp, the key understandings that students need to know in order to master the key concepts in the lesson. I look at the materials, and I look at the possibly misconceptions that students may have. I noticed that in this lesson, I need to make sure I had my car ready, a ramp, 3 textbooks for each table group, and I need to make sure I had a meter stick. So I make sure I pre-plan those materials for every single table before each class comes in, so that way I'm set up, ready to go. We're not wasting any time and get right to learning. I understand that the stamp for this lesson was an object speed, and its direction can describe its motion and the different forces acting on objects such as friction and gravity. So I don't know if you saw in the very beginning of my video, the first thing I was interested in pulling out was that students need to understand what gravity was, what friction was, and I pushed them and to build on from each other in the very beginning of the lesson. And that also came across in our exit tickets, which I'm about to get to. I decided to make the decision to do every single lesson on PowerPoint. My thing is, I do not want to waste any time for learning, and I want to make sure that every student gets every question and key understanding. So if you see I was up here, make sure as a reminder I have every question in visual aids. This lesson also wanted to ask for a YouTube video, so our YouTube video is up and running for students. So I wanted to make sure everything is laid out in real time and everything is perfect so students can get right to learning as quickly as possible. I do that with every single lesson. For this lesson, I also understood that students may not be aware of key vocabulary concepts, and that's a lot of misconceptions that may happen. So I also had these vocabulary books that I made for students so that when we were doing the reading, they could write down these vocabulary concepts and they could really remember and stamp the learning. So the different, what I learned from the students' exit tickets as I was going through, I realized that students were really able to understand what gravity was. I had so many students get the first question right, which was a ball is thrown into the air, what causes it to come down? Most students got gravity correct, as you can see. So that really showed me that they understood that gravity is a force that keeps objects down, keeps it grounded. And the second question is just an animal in a box, and it says, explain how you know the object shown above was moved. My thing that I wanted students to understand was that the position of the object has changed, and that's how I know that it moved. Most scholars are able to tell me that either the object was on top, it's above the box, it's now in a different location. Some students put force, push, and pull, but my main focus was that the position of the object has changed, and that can describe that the object has moved. So I realized that some students, probably a small amount, didn't really understand that it was, they just said something about force, or they said something, like I said, about push and pull, but they didn't really say anything about the position. So that's what my key understanding for my next time I teach a lesson or any other lessons, to make sure I stamp the learning at the end of the lesson, to make sure kids understand that the stamp is very important as far as like the position of the object and how it changed, and to make sure that every student understood that. Thank you.